Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Happy Friday. Hope it's a good start to your weekend. I'm doing okay. I took today off, not feeling the best, but I also picked up Skyward Sword, so I've just been kind of chilling on the couch. I did put out a video earlier on the gaming channel, and it's not a review, and it's not a preview, it's more just like it's kind of like this, but I focused on the game Terraforming Mars. So, I don't know, little different, kind of a weird video for a gaming channel, I think. I don't know that there's an audience for it, but I wanted to try it, and I did a whole bunch of weird editing tricks and, you know, oddities just to play with it. So, maybe go check that out. But, that being said, I want to dial back to the conversation on, I think it was Wednesday, where I talked about being transparent about publisher contributions and that sort of stuff. And thank you, everybody who had an opinion on that. That really means a lot to me that you guys had a sort of a take on it, right? And where was I going with that? Oh, I wanted to kind of give you a little bit more of an explanation of where I'm coming from. And part of the reason I didn't do the board game review stuff for so many years was because of my involvement with Portal Games, and I didn't want to muddy that. Because I want to be fair, but also critical, like when I talk about games. Now, I have about 100 games over there that I love, and then I will probably do videos for those. In some, maybe it won't be one at a time, maybe it'll be a batch of them at a time or something like that, but to talk about why I love them. But I have more games available to me that I don't enjoy for one reason or another, and I would like to talk about that too. I would like to talk about why I don't enjoy things. Not saying subjectively or objectively that a game is bad, just saying that I don't enjoy it because of this, or I think that the components are weak and that it could have, you know, had a better retail value with better, you know, whatever it is. And I don't want to be beholden to anybody, because there's a lot of people who say, publisher gave me this, but, you know, without the expectation of me without the expectation of me doing a positive review, so I'm going to give you my honest opinion. And then they say a bunch of positive things. And, you know, there's the argument that deciding to do a review is an endorsement. Whether it's a good or a bad review, it's an endorsement. And no review is much, much worse than a bad review. And so, in some way, shape, or form, you're being swayed by that gift, by that thing. And I don't want that, right? And so where I'm coming from is there's a channel on YouTube that I watch in the maker kind of tool guy space called AVE. And AVE does a breakdown video that he calls, I don't remember what he calls it. It doesn't matter. AVE spends his own cash or gets donated tools from patrons. Tools like, you know, a drill, a consumer product. And he completely strips it down and criticizes the construction. He looks at the, you know, the components. He looks at, you know, possible failure modes for those tools. He really tears into the tools. And for the most part, consumer tools like this aren't very good inside. Like, they're made to last X amount of time, and then, you know, you probably replace it. But that doesn't mean that he just shits on these things all the time. He does actually give solid credit when credit is due, but he also says, you know, this is a complete piece of crap when it's a complete piece of crap. And I would like to be able to have that sort of ability with board games without it being... Board games are much more subjective than something like this. You know, if you buy a cheap plastic tool and the case is not glass reinforced fiberglass, you could say that's garbage, and it is, because, you know, at the price point that you wanted to pay, but objectively the plastic is not going to last, period, compared to glass reinforced plastics. But with board games, it's pretty subjective. You know, there are people that like LCR. Otherwise, it wouldn't still be a thing. Am I one of them? Heck no. Like, I would rather just not participate in an activity than to play LCR. So I want to be able to say whatever I want without having to have a relationship severed because of it. I don't, you know, regardless of whether I have a positive or negative review of a game, if it was given to me by a publisher and I say something and I damage that relationship, I don't want that, right? That's where I'm coming from. Because I'm probably going to say bad things. I'd like to stay balanced, you know, and just give honest feedback. But sometimes I have pretty negative opinions about things. Actually, most times I'm a pretty negative person. I'm a cynic at heart, and so I tend to, in the real world, I tend to be very, very critical. And I hide a lot of that here on this channel because this is not, you know, I'm critical of myself, and I think we all know that. But I try not to be super critical here because I don't think that the negativity is just general negativity isn't really a good thing. But when there's a negative side to a product that I can point out and maybe, you know, influence the future of purchasing decisions for other consumers, or maybe even influence future manufacturing decisions, I want to be able to do that with a clear conscience. I don't know. Was this conversation, did this help? I feel like maybe I just backtracked and said the same thing again. Let me know in the comments. Go watch the Terraforming Mars video. I think it was good. I had fun making it. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again on Monday. Today's word you should know to sound smart is granular. It's an adjective meaning the ability to divide, organize, and search through something at a fine level of detail. Julian's granular abilities allowed him to extract the absolute best from among even the largest pile of uncut diamonds. Granular. Granular. Granular abilities? I've never, that doesn't, never heard it used that way. I always think of, I guess, zooming in is granular to me, right?